Picture a small group of ancient humans asleep around a dying fire, deep in a forest crawling with wolves. Nothing stands between them and the dark except one animal lying by the entrance, ears twitching at every sound. That animal is the only reason they wake up in the morning. Somewhere around 15,000 years ago, maybe even earlier, humans made a deal with a predator that should have eaten us, and that single decision may have done more to keep our species alive than fire, than tools, than almost anything else we ever invented. Without it, entire tribes likely starved, froze, or got torn apart by animals in the night. So how did teaming up with a wild, meat-eating carnivore end up saving humanity, and what would have actually happened to us without it? Here's the thing modern people forget. Before dogs, every single night was a gamble. Ancient humans had no locked doors, no walls, no electric lights to scare anything off. Cave lions, hyenas, wolves, and bears all shared the same landscape, and humans were slow, weak-clawed, and easy to ambush in the dark. Camps needed round-the-clock alertness just to survive till dawn, which meant exhausted lookouts, interrupted sleep, and constant low-grade terror. A species that can't sleep safely is a species that makes mistakes, gets sick, and dies young. Something had to change, and the answer came from one of the most unlikely places imaginable. Somewhere in ancient Eurasia, a population of wolves started lingering near human camps, drawn in by scraps and bones left behind. The bravest, calmest wolves tolerated humans getting close, and those were the ones who survived and bred near camp instead of getting driven off or killed. Generation after generation, this quietly selected for friendlier, less aggressive animals, without a single human ever planning to domesticate anything. It wasn't humans taming wild wolf pups on purpose. It was wolves essentially domesticating themselves by choosing to stick around, and humans slowly realizing the growling shapes at the edge of firelight weren't leaving. The very first payoff was terrifyingly simple. Dogs could smell and hear danger long before any human could. A predator creeping through the dark that a sleeping human would never notice would set a dog barking and snarling instantly. That early warning gave ancient humans something they'd never really had, which was the ability to actually sleep. Camps with dogs could rest instead of running rotating night watches, and that extra safe sleep meant sharper minds, healthier bodies, and fewer people dying from an ambush nobody saw coming. A four-legged alarm system that also happened to fight back was, in a very real sense, a survival upgrade for the entire group. Dogs didn't just guard camp, they transformed hunting itself. A dog's sense of smell can be tens of thousands of times more sensitive than a human's. Letting hunters track wounded animals for miles across terrain a person alone would completely lose. Dogs could corner fast prey, hold large, dangerous animals at bay, and flush hidden game out of thick brush that humans couldn't safely enter. Some researchers argue that hunting alongside dogs may have doubled or even tripled how much meat a group could reliably bring home. In a world where a failed hunt could mean a starving winter, that difference wasn't a convenience. It was the line between a tribe that ate and a tribe that didn't. During brutal Ice Age winters, dogs became mobile heaters, sleeping pressed against humans and children to share body warmth through nights that could otherwise kill from exposure alone. Later, in colder northern regions, dogs were bred specifically to pull sleds and haul supplies across snow and ice no human could cross carrying that same weight. That meant tribes could migrate further, follow herds of prey across brutal seasonal ranges, and reach hunting grounds that would have simply been unreachable on foot. Dogs weren't just companions in the cold. They were the engine that let humans expand into some of the harshest, most unforgiving environments on Earth. It's not glamorous, but it mattered enormously. Ancient camps produced scraps, bones, and waste that could easily attract disease, rot, or draw in dangerous scavengers looking for an easy meal. Dogs ate the leftovers before they became a problem, effectively acting as a walking sanitation system camped right at the edge of human settlements. Less rotting food lying around meant fewer parasites, less disease, and fewer predators being lured close enough to become a threat. A behavior as unglamorous as scavenging garbage quietly made ancient camps measurably safer and healthier places to actually live in. Something else happened that early humans probably didn't expect. People and dogs started forming genuine emotional bonds. Burial sites tens of thousands of years old have been found with dogs deliberately laid to rest beside humans, sometimes with visible signs of care, like a dog with a fatal illness that had clearly been fed and kept alive for months by its humans anyway. That's not the behavior of a species treating an animal as a disposable tool. Scientists studying oxytocin, the same bonding hormone released between parents and infants, have found it spikes in both humans and dogs during eye contact and affectionate touch. The partnership wasn't purely practical. It was, on some level, love. Thousands of years later, as humans began domesticating sheep, goats, and cattle, dogs became essential again, in an entirely new role. Herding dogs could control large numbers of animals that a handful of humans alone could never manage, chasing down strays, warding off predators, and keeping herds moving as a single unit. Without dogs helping control livestock, some historians argue early farming societies would have struggled to protect their food supply at all, right at the exact moment agriculture was reshaping human civilization. The same partnership that started around a hunting fire ended up quietly propping up the birth of farming itself. So picture the alternate version. No early warning system, meaning more nighttime deaths from predators and less recovery sleep for everyone. Hunts that fail more often, meaning leaner winters and higher child mortality. No help crossing frozen, resource-poor terrain, meaning smaller ranges and fewer places humans could actually settle. Slower, weaker population growth spread across a smaller portion of the planet, arriving at agriculture later and with more difficulty. None of that guarantees humanity goes extinct, but it strongly suggests a species that spreads slower, stays smaller, and loses far more people along the way than the one that actually happened. Here's the part that stings. We tend to credit fire, tools, and language as the great human survival inventions, and dogs barely get mentioned in the same breath. But unlike fire or a spear, a dog is a living, thinking partner that adapts, learns, and works alongside you in real time. That kind of alliance between two completely different species, one built on mutual survival benefit that eventually turned into genuine affection, has no real parallel anywhere else in the animal kingdom. It's easy to overlook something that's been sitting quietly by our side for 15,000 years, mostly because it never stopped being there. So the next time a dog is curled up asleep at your feet, remember it's not just a pet. It's the descendant of an alliance that helped ancient humans sleep safely through predator-filled nights, hunt far more successfully, survive brutal Ice Age winters, and eventually build the herds that fed early civilization. We didn't just tame an animal. We recruited a partner that may have quietly kept our entire species alive long enough to build everything that came after. Ever wondered what other ancient alliances we've completely forgotten helped us survive?